Look at the car on your screen. That is a Toyota Corolla with 750,000 miles on the odometer. Not a typo. 750,000 miles. While most drivers think about trading in their vehicle the second it hits 100,000 miles, vehicles with massive mileage are surprisingly common in Japan. It is not magic, and it certainly is not luck. It all comes down to highly specific, disciplined daily habits. I dug deep into these routines, even reviewing the personal maintenance logs of a retired Toyota engineer from Osaka. Every single page was a masterclass in automotive longevity. Today, we are going to talk about the exact habits Japanese drivers and mechanics use to make their cars last virtually forever. Habits that most drivers completely ignore. And I promise you, some of these go against everything you thought you knew about cars. Let us get into it. Watch a professional Japanese driver in heavy traffic. They press the gas pedal as if there is a raw egg sitting right underneath it. This is not about driving slowly just to annoy the people behind you. It is applied mechanical engineering. Every time you stomp on the gas, you send a massive, sudden shockwave of pressure through the pistons, connecting rods, and the crankshaft. Over time, these repeated hammering impacts cause serious metal fatigue. Engineers have calculated that aggressive driving can cut an engine's lifespan by more than half. An Osaka taxi driver with 500,000 miles on his dash told me his secret was simply keeping the tachometer under 3,000 revolutions per minute and anticipating traffic lights. He uses the pedals like precision instruments. The same rule applies to braking. Slamming on the brakes does not just eat up your brake pads. It sends harsh vibrations straight through the transmission, the differential, and the engine mounts. Just smoothing out your inputs can easily add a decade of life to your powertrain. A lot of guys think using a thicker oil means better engine protection. If your owner's manual calls for 5 weight 20, putting in 10 weight 40 because you think it coats the metal better is incredibly dangerous. In Japan, using the wrong oil viscosity is basically considered driver negligence. The engineers designed those exact engine clearances for a very specific oil weight. When you use a thicker oil, it cannot flow fast enough to reach the camshafts during a cold start. That initial 30 seconds of dry running causes the equivalent wear of driving hundreds of miles. Data from major manufacturers shows that a huge percentage of premature engine failures trace back to incorrect oil thickness. Those high-mileage drivers stick to the factory specification religiously. Nothing thicker, nothing thinner. Just exactly what the manufacturer demanded. Speaking of cold starts, starting your engine and immediately revving it up is seen as absolute disrespect to the machine. The logic is bulletproof. For the first 10 seconds, the oil has not fully reached the top of the cylinder head. The metal components are cold, shrunken, and the tolerances are tight. Revving creates microscopic tears in the metal that eventually turn into catastrophic internal failure. Instead, turn the key, let the idle drop and stabilize, and then just drive gently for the first mile. And please, stop letting your car idle in the driveway for 10 minutes in the winter. Long idling washes the cylinder walls with unburned gasoline, dilutes your engine oil, and carbonizes your intake valves. The Japanese method is simple. Start it, wait about 30 seconds for oil pressure to build, and drive it under 3,000 RPMs. The engine warms up 3 times faster under a light load than it does just sitting there. The catalytic converter wakes up quicker, and all the metal parts expand evenly together. By the way, if you are finding these mechanical insights helpful and want to keep your ride running perfectly, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. We go deep into real automotive knowledge here, and having you on board means a lot. Now let us get back to the garage. Let us talk about the lifeblood of your car. The manual might say you can go 10,000 miles between oil changes, but Japanese fleet mechanics often drop that oil every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. The intervals in the book are for perfect laboratory driving conditions. Real life is stop-and-go traffic, short trips where the engine never gets fully hot, and extreme weather. Waiting too long means you are lubricating your engine with liquid sandpaper. And when you change that oil, you absolutely must change the filter every single time. Leaving an old filter means leaving about half a quart of nasty, contaminated oil right in the block, which instantly ruins the fresh synthetic fluid you just poured in. It is like taking a shower and putting your dirty clothes back on. Some master mechanics even pre-fill the new oil filter with fresh oil before screwing it on, so the engine does not experience a dry start while the pump fills the empty canister. Furthermore, checking your oil dipstick every other week is a ritual. An engine can burn a small amount of oil naturally without blowing blue smoke. If you wait for the low oil pressure light to come on your dash, the damage is already done. Keeping it perfectly topped off reduces friction and wear significantly. Here is a secret component that gets completely ignored in America but is swapped out like clockwork by Japanese technicians. The positive crankcase ventilation valve, usually just called the PCV valve. It is a tiny, inexpensive plastic or metal piece that routes blowy gases out of the engine block and back into the intake. When this little valve clogs up with carbon, internal pressure builds up inside the engine crankcase. That trapped pressure will literally blow out your main seals and cause massive oil leaks all over your driveway. Swapping this out every 30,000 miles takes 5 minutes and prevents catastrophic oil loss and blown gaskets down the road. Let us look at your gas tank habits. Never let your needle drop all the way to empty. Try to fill up as soon as you hit a quarter tank. Your electric fuel pump sits inside the gas tank and uses the surrounding liquid fuel to keep itself cool. When you drive on empty, that pump is exposed to the air, overheats, and burns out prematurely. Plus, running low sucks up all the nasty sediment from the bottom of the tank straight into your fuel injector. And when you do fill up, skip the heavily discounted no-name gas stations. Using top-tier fuel is non-negotiable for engine longevity. Cheap gas lacks the robust detergent packages needed to keep your intake valves and combustion chambers clean. Every tank of cheap gas leaves a microscopic layer of carbon. Over time, that means clogged injectors, sticky valves, and severe engine knock. Top-tier fuel pays for itself by preventing massive teardowns. Even with good gas, Japanese mechanics heavily utilize preventative fuel system cleaning. Every few thousand miles, they run a high-quality fuel system cleaner containing polyethylamine or PEA through a full tank of gas. This chemical actively melts away hard carbon deposits on the injectors and valves while you drive down the highway. It restores your fuel economy and keeps the spray pattern of the injectors absolutely perfect. Alongside clean fueling, you have to treat your ignition system with respect. Do not wait for a spark plug to completely fail and trigger a misfire code. Change them when they are at 80% of their life. A weak spark plug causes incomplete combustion, which dumps raw fuel into your catalytic converter and melts the internal honeycomb structure. It also forces your ignition coils to work overtime and eventually burn out. Changing plugs early is routine maintenance that prevents a massive chain reaction of failures. Pop the hood of a high-mileage Japanese taxi and look closely at the battery. You will almost always see dielectric grease applied perfectly to the battery terminals. It seems minor, but lead sulfate corrosion on the terminals creates immense electrical resistance. Your alternator has to work twice as hard to push a charge through that crust, and your starter motor starves for amperage. This halves the life of both incredibly vital components. A tiny dab of grease prevents the oxidation, keeps the electrical flow smooth, and protects the engine computer from unpredictable voltage spikes. While we are talking about fluids and maintenance, let us shatter the biggest myth in the automotive industry right now. Lifetime transmission fluid. There is absolutely no such thing. Japanese transmission specialists laugh at this concept. Fluid shears down, internal clutch material burns off, and the filter gets clogged with metal shavings. If you want your automatic transmission to survive past 150,000 miles, you need to drain and fill that fluid every 40 to 50,000 miles. Ignoring it guarantees a total transmission failure. It is just simple friction and heat management. Your engine's health is also directly connected to how your car rolls down the pavement. Japanese mechanics check tire pressure weekly with a highly accurate digital gauge, never just eyeballing it. Every single drop in tire pressure increases rolling resistance, which forces the engine to work harder and generates excess heat in the drivetrain. That heat travels right up into the wheel bearings and axles. Maintaining perfect tire pressure reduces long-term powertrain strain by a very significant margin, but the ultimate secret, the absolute core of making a car last 1,000,000 miles, is unwavering discipline to the maintenance schedule. I am talking about not going a single week past your due date. Every fluid, every filter, every belt has a scientifically calculated degradation point. Stretching a service interval by just a few hundred miles allows microscopic metal contact to occur. Do that a few times over the life of the car, and the internal engine tolerances are permanently ruined. The difference between a car that dies early and one that runs forever is not the badge on the grille. It is the strict discipline of the owner holding the keys. None of these daily habits require massive effort or a degree in mechanical engineering. They just require you to actually care about the heavy machinery you operate. Start applying just 2 or 3 of these habits tomorrow morning, and you will easily add years to your vehicle's life. If you found real value in this video, please make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It tells the algorithm you want more serious automotive knowledge, and it helps the community grow. Check out the other videos popping up on your screen right now for more garage secrets. Keep your ride running strong, drive safe, and I will see you in the next one.